Hello, and welcome back. So, in this stream, what we are planning to do is we are planning to complete this become a Python master, right? So, I've done few things over here. So, I will continue from Python basics practice. Okay, so let's complete this first, right? So, what I'm supposed to do in this particular problem is I need to split the bill among friends, okay? Input for total number of friends. So we need to assign it over there. Great. Input. All right. Simply need to take in the input and then get input value for bill. Integer input for the restaurant bill. Okay. Integer input. This also should be integer input. Integer input int, and this also should be an integer input, right? So it will be bill variable and something similar, right? I just don't want to write the text for these things. Total tax will be add the tax to the bill. Okay, so total friends times bill, I guess. So if it was 3 and 40, it would be what? Okay, at the end we need to split it. So 3 into 40, 120. 120 times 20%, I guess, right? Maybe, maybe let's open this thing again. Let's open our playground. All right, so in our playground, I can simply test few things that I need. I will simply open it up, and then what I can do over here is let's just, of course, I will need the print. I can simply test my theory. 120 into 1.2. 120 plus 120 into 0.2. Right. How much will that be? 144 divide by what? 3. That's not how it's doing it, is it? It's not doing it like that. Right. So how do I do it? How do I do it? So in order to complete this, I just need to figure out the math first of all. I need to understand the question first of all. So assign it to the bill. Okay, calculate the tax amount, which is 20% of the bill. Okay, so whatever the bill amount is. Okay. So it's just not times 3, na? It's just this thing. It's 40 and then 40 times 1.2, and then whatever comes out, it will be what? 60, I guess, or 48. Okay, and then you just divide it. Okay, got it. Not a big deal, right? So tax amount is basically bill plus bill into 1.2, or I can simply do input into 1.2, right? I can do that as well, and then divide among the bill. Okay, so I can simply do print. Right, I could have done it. I don't need the print and all. Right, I can simply do, okay, it's just saying tax amount only, so maybe 0.2 only. Right, and then maybe let's do it in the process. Divide the bill. Okay, split equals to let's use parentheses because we need to add what? Bill plus tax, right? And then we need to do divide by total friends, right? FRIENDS, and the total amount will be the split amount. Okay, let's check the code. Should run just fine in my opinion. What happened over here? Test case 1, 3, and 3. Your input is this. Okay, what's wrong? 40 times. Oh, I should not do 1 point thing. It should be 0 0.2. Right, I forgot to change that. That's fine. Let's submit. And what else? Okay, cost price minus selling price. Oopsie. I will need to do something similar. Okay, we will be given two different inputs. Okay, so for that, I want to try something over here, different. Cost price, comma, selling price. Can we do double input over here directly, Input, int, right, let's do something like this, copy, and like this, and then profit is what? Print. Selling price. I'm not sure why it's not showing me the hinting thing, huh? Selling price minus cost price. Right. Let's just run it. Okay, works just fine. I had not tried placing input in a tuple kind of situation. Seems like it works. Okay, we need to calculate what BMI of a person. Okay, what we will be given two different things. Okay, float input, and then we calculate BMI and then print it out, right? Okay, so I'll just do a shortcut. So float, right? Input. Okay, we simply do copy. This will be H. Paste it. BMI will be what? BMI equals to, what's the formula for that height? Uh, 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 okay, I'm not sure about this thing. Does it mean like the whole square of the both of these things, or what? Or what is it? That's my only concern. So let's see. Okay, it seems like we could just try it directly. Okay, so I think this will have a precedence anyway, right? So this will do h square first and then only divide it. Just have to be careful about that. But let's see. Let's run the code. Okay, it just works, so no need to worry about it. Okay, minutes to seconds, that's not a big deal. Okay, so we just need to convert it into seconds. So we will be given what time? Minutes. This variable, we paste it here, and then in order to convert it, we will need to multiply it by 60, right? And that's it. What about this simple interest? Okay, the previous example 1.2 was a simple interest kind of, not a simple interest, but a compounding kind of interest example. Okay, we need to take a float, blah, 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 blah. We need to take three different things, PRT, I guess. Right, okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal. So we take the inputs, principal rate. Okay, maybe like this. Not a good way. I'll just do it like that, huh? I made a mistake over there. Okay, I should not have pasted it in the rate, nah. Paste that. Copy this. Paste that. Equals. Equals. And then we take in what? Int or float. Maybe I can just do float. Okay, I don't have it in my clipboard, huh? Float. input. Let's just copy it, paste it, paste it. Three inputs are there. What's the interest? We just need to print the thing, right? So what we can do is I teach you a easier way. Print, right? So what do we do? Our interest rate is 0.1, right? So principal into rate into time into 0.1, right? So that will give us a simple interest for that. Could have done 1 plus r to the power n as well. That's fine. Okay. So that's our interest, right? And what we can do is principal plus this. Okay. Should work just fine. But why did it fail? That's it. That's my concern. Our output was what? What did we need to print? Two different things. Okay. Seems like we need to print what? Interest and thing differently. Total thing as well. Okay, it's just the same thing. It's just going to be the whole same thing. Copy it, maybe paste it there. We simply need to give out what the interest rate first of all. What happened? Our output was this. Okay, seems like we have one extra zero. Is it 0.01? Okay, 0.01, that's fine. Let's run it. Should be all right. Okay, so that's how we can solve this particular problem about simple interest. Area of a triangle, of course, base and height. Maybe we take two different inputs and then we calculate the area. Okay, not a big deal. What we can do perhaps is, so let's just use one particular variable only, 1 divided by 2 into base into height, right? So we don't need that. So base equals to input, right? Is it going to be a float or what is it? Perhaps float. Okay, so float, and then h is going to be something similar. Copy it, paste it, print, and directly print it, right? I don't need to create extra variable for that purpose. 1 divided by 2 into b into h, right? I know what I'm doing, so that's why I'm doing it directly. Just want to see if my audio is fine or not. Hopefully my audio should be okay. Just want to see if my audio is fine or not. Okay, it looks like it's simple interest working just fine. The stream, right? So what do you do? Average, that's it. Okay, three different numbers, just calculate the average. Not a big deal. Float input. Okay, float input. Okay, I'm doing it directly like this. I don't care about variable name. Right, all I can, what I can do is basically sum this thing, a comma b comma c. I'm not sure if sum takes this kind of argument, but let's see. Divide by what will always be 3 because we are always declaring it with that, right? So it's always 3 variables that we are checking for. What is it? Takes At most two arguments, three given. Okay, not a big deal. Let's just turn it into a tuple, and then it should be fine, I guess. What happened? I expected this. Output was this. Okay, so seems like our sum is doing some roundup, so it's a floating point kind of issue, right? Floating point issue, that's for sure. Let's not use that. Let's just do plus directly. Plus. Let's see. Okay, should work just fine. Great. Did the test case change? I think so. Hey, okay, so. Okay, so what about this one? Divide chocolates. Great. What we will be given? Chocolates and then children. Find chocolates. Each children will get printed. Find remaining chocolate and then print it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What will that be? 50 divided by 8, right? Let's use this Python interpreter that I have over here. Let's just make this thing a little bit smaller so that we can see. Right, so 50 divided by 8 is what, 6. So they want us to so integer chocolate, assign it to chocolate, blah blah blah. Integer input, assign it to children variable, and gets find the number of chocolate each children gets after division and print it. Okay, so it will be 6, but why is there 8? Okay, 8 is the number of children, nah? Why is there 2? How 2 will be remaining? So 6 years are 48. Okay, so 50 floor division should do the work. And what about the other number? Right, so the other number will be 50 modulo 8, I guess. That's it. That's how we can solve it. Great. So we'll be given what chocolate equals to what, float or int? Should be int, I guess. Integer, yeah. Does not make sense to be in float because chocolate can be in float. Control V, float input, right? C1 is for child equals to this. Print what? Print seed floor division child will give us the chocolate that would be equally divided, and the remainder will be the remainder. Right, let's just do check code. Okay, what happened over here? Okay, it should be int, sorry. And I said it should be a int, and then I pasted the float that I had in my clipboard. Okay, that's it. What about this problem statement? Create a program that swaps two, right? So in the temp, maybe we can simply insert n1. Right, now what happens? N1 becomes N2, right? And then now we can simply assign temp to this another. Okay, great. Flows control. Okay, seems like we've got a lot of problems that we need to cover. Well, that's fine. Right, we need to check if it's pass or fail or whatever, right? Okay, so if it is greater than or equal to 40, print pass, else fail. Great. Not a big deal for us. Print pass, right? If marks is greater than or equals to 40, right? Else what fail? That should be fine. Yep. What about this one? Check pass, fail, and invalid. Okay. Okay. We need to check this condition. So if marks is what, less than 0, less than 0, or marks is greater than 100, we print invalid marks, right? Lf uh, marks greater than 40, we print what? Print. What do we print? We print pass. Pass. Okay. Else it's fail, right? Print fail. Okay, maybe just copy this thing. We might need it in the next one. Just saving some time for us. Okay, submit. That's it. What is this? Okay, even or odd, divisible by 2, print even, else odd. Okay, we simply take a value, uh, n equals to the number, integer input. Okay, great. So we simply do print. Right, print. Even if n modulo 2 equals 0, else odd, right? Should work just fine. What about this? We need to check, get an input. What the hell? Where were we? Over here. Right. N equals to control V, right? It will be an integer input. So if the number is 1, uh, 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 so we will need to, I just don't want to do it like this. Right, number 1, print this, number 2, print that, right? So it's a little bit cumbersome. In my opinion, it should not be done like that. But hey, this is a beginner's course, right? And what else? So it's just trying to teach us elif and all, so it should be just fine, I guess. Monday, right? Elif number equals to, let's do something similar. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. Let's change it quickly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, and then we simply use something similar. Okay, okay. Okay. Print, print. Right. Else maybe what? Pass. Maybe let's see. Okay, seems like we can copy it. Great. Will save some time for us. Right, can't be bothered to type the weekdays. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Check code. Okay, what happened? I didn't because that was what the hell? But I don't need you to explain it. Num is not defined. Okay, great. Now it's defined. That's it. Works just fine. What else? Okay, we need to check for voting. Okay, get age input and store it in age variable. So in order to do that, that's already done. Right, we just need to print what can vote and cannot vote. That's the only requirement. Okay. We would do this like this. Age is greater than equals to 18, right? We do print. What is that? Can vote. Can vote, otherwise can't vote. Okay, let's move on. How many problems are there in this? A lot of them, huh? Collections, okay. Okay, we can finish it, not a big deal. Employee bonus, okay. Okay, check fizz buzz. Multiple of 3, print fizz buzz, okay. Okay, number modulo 3 equals 0, then and we need to check for both condition, right? So modulo will give us what? If there is no remainder, that means it's 0, that means it's perfectly divisible by 3, and same thing for 5, right? And what about this one? Okay, that, right? So if it's divisible by 3, it's fizz, otherwise it's perfect multiple of 5, it's buzz, otherwise we simply print the number, right? Okay, works just fine. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Okay, what do we need to do? Take input for salary. Salary equals to float, I guess. Float, right? So salary could be in decimal places as well. Input, take as integer input for years. Okay, years equals to int, right? Usually in int input. Check if years worked is greater than 5 or not. Okay, if it is greater than 5, all right, what do? We simply need to calculate bonus for it. 5%. Okay, great. So bonus equals to salary times 0.05, right? Print bonus. That's it. What about this smallest among the three? Okay. Check if okay. Uh, so if number one is less than number two, okay, number two is less than number three. Ooh, it's all wrong. What happened over here? Because okay, it's smaller than that. We need to do it has to be smaller than that, and of course, right, we have to check for both of them. Less than number three, right? We need to verify for both the conditions, of course. We will need to copy this thing. We need to check for both of them, huh? So number two is less than number one, and whether it's less than number three, then only it's less than number two, right? So we need to check for both the conditions. That's true. So check if user likes car or bike. Okay. Okay, input is there. Choice equals car or choice in, right? What we can do is car, like car. Okay. So maybe what we can do is capitalize equals if that is car, we simply print car, right? And lf choice, we can capitalize it, do something similar. Control V, should be bike, 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 right? We simply print bike, bike, should work just fine. Okay, what happened? There's no object capitalized. What is it? Why do you say that? Help, not help. Let's do dir str. There should be capitalize, Lize, American English. Right, there should be ZE. Should work. Okay, I like car. Okay, I like. I am missing that. I like. Okay, I will copy this. Just give it the same output so that the test case does not complain. Okay, multiplication of n from 1 to 5. Okay, 6. Okay, for I in range 1 to 5, right? So 1 to 6. That's what we need to do, right? So 6 will not be included because if we do 5, it will only do it until thing, right? Only 5. So to do that, we simply do print. Uh, 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 uh. So n times I. That's it. Let's just check code. Should work just fine. Let's submit it. How many more are there? sum variable, we simply initialize it. What sum? What is this? We need to find the sum of first natural numbers. Okay, from inside a loop. Okay, maybe s equals to 0, and then we should start from what, 1 all the way to n plus 1, right? They want that included, I guess. S plus equals to I, and then we simply print s. Okay, great, that's done. Print all factors of a number starting from 1, n plus I guess, n plus 1. Check if there is a perfectly divisible remainder. If yes, print I. Okay, not a big deal. All right. So inside the loop, okay. So if I is perfectly divisible by what? Perfectly divisible. Check if the number, okay. Number is perfectly divisible by I, which means the remainder will be 0. In that case, what we do? We print the I. Great. Sorry. Right. What happened over there? Okay, it should be number. Okay, number plus 1. Okay, that's done. Another problem. We need to check if it's a prime number or not. Right. So in order to do that, we have a number and we have what? So there is a flag variable as well, huh? So that runs from 2 to the number. Okay, that's not a big deal. So in order to do that, what we can do is, so let's just start from 2 until the number NUMER, right? So we simply get the I from here, right? Check if the number is divisible by any number between 2 to number minus 1. If yes, set the flag to 1. Okay. Okay, fine. It's divisible by any number between. Okay, so if number, so if it was 7, right? So it's a prime number because it can't be divided by any number from number minus 1, right? So if we do just number, this condition will satisfy because this is not going to be inclusive in our loop. If we done plus 1, it would have been divisible by itself, but not other numbers. Okay, so what we can do is number percentage or modulo I. This will give us the remainder. So if the remainder is 0, that means it's perfectly divisible by I, right? And then so if it is thing, we set the flag equals to 1, right? So we are simply using the flag variable. If it were in a function, we could have done return directly, but it just depends on the use cases, right? So print, what do you do? So flag is, right, so not prime and prime. Okay, if the flag is equal to 1, equal to 1, what the hell, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. Oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine because not of prime will be if it is divisible by thing, right? If it is divisible by thing, divisible by any number, then it's going to be prime, of course, right? So not a prime number if flag, right? Else what? Prime number. I'm not going to check equals to one, because anything with one means basically true in itself anyway, right? So that should basically work. Great. Let's move on to another problem. So count the number of digits. Okay, not a big deal. We are given the input, run the thing as long as number is not equals to 0. Okay, divide number by 10. Okay, divide by 10. Count plus equals to 1. Print count. Count. Right, but you see, we are not subtracting anything, right? Okay, to remove the last digit in the iteration, of course, right? So in order to do that, so in 3 counts, this thing, so it's just checking how many digits are there, right? So in that situation, what we need to do is number equals to what will happen. This will run a long time, right? So we of course need to subtract it. It will come in, it will do 1, count will be 1, right? So in order to satisfy this particular condition, we will need to do floor division, right? So that will give us what, 55, and then another round will give us 5, right? And then this will be an infinite loop, that's for sure. Why did it run though? Why did it run? Because, oh yes, in another round it will be 0, na? It will be 0, right? So in that situation it will stop iteration. Let's submit it. What about this? Print all numbers except multiples of 3. Okay, from 1 to n, we loop over it, check whether I is divisible by 3. Percentage 3 equals 0, right? We just skip it, continue, print the value of I. Okay, print I. Right, we are simply printing it, that's it. Expected is this, blah blah blah, 5 and then 7. Okay, we had to do +1, of course, because we were not including that in our loop. Let's submit it. Okay, what is this? So run a while loop, that is always true. Okay, true. And maybe we need to use break over here somewhere. Take input for a number. Okay, will that be a int input? Okay, that's what it says. Okay, we take that, and then if the user input is 0, okay, if and equals 0, I could do that as well, or I could do this break, right? And then I can simply use print n. Why did I do not n? that also satisfies it. Okay, that also satisfies the condition, because 0 or anything below that 0 will be considered a false. That's why it works. Next is print positive number entered by user. Okay, this should be always true. Okay, take input from user, int, I guess, right? Int, and then input. Okay, we get the input from the user and check if the input is less than 0, skip the number. Okay, so if n, maybe let's just try the earlier condition. In case of minus, what happens? In case of minus, what happens? Let's check it. I've got my terminal. All right, so if -1, all right, print, okay, it works. So maybe this case should fail if the test case are set properly. All right, will only work for 0. If 0, yes, terminate the loop, right? So if not n, we break it. We are testing for this particular condition. All right, print n. Okay, great. Should fail in my opinion. Let's just do that as well. A equals to -1. Yep. What is it? Took too long. Okay. What was not there? Take a integer input. Seems like it's going on an infinite loop. User input should be 0. Okay. Terminate the loop. Okay. Okay, it's due to this. Less than 0. That should work. Okay. So basically what happens is when we do not n, right? So when this is 0, in that situation, this will work. Okay. So otherwise it won't work. Why is that? Because you see right over here, if let's say if I do a equals to 2 or any other number, right? Even in that situation, this condition will be satisfied, hence it will work. Okay, but if it were to be a 0, then in that situation what happens is basically it won't work because a is false. Okay, so 0 is interpreted as false in Python or in any other language. Mostly in terms of Boolean, it's always 0 and 1. Okay, so anything else, any value that comes in a except for 0 will be considered true if you just do if a or whatever, if the variable stores any string or list or anything. So I could have done the same thing for this as well, right? So in this situation, what happens? It will print the 1. Okay, so even for a space character as well, uh, 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 it will print a value because even space is a valid character, right? In string data type. Okay, let's submit it. Okay, Fibonacci, 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 Fibonacci. Great. Okay, we have to loop over n plus 1, print t1. Okay, we simply do print t1. That is 1. T2 is 1. The result is basically, result should be equals to t1 plus t2. Right, next is we need to do t2, we need to assign it to t1. T1 equals to T2. Okay, and then the result we simply add it to what? A result will be T2. What we are doing essentially over here is, what we are doing is, so see over here we have 1 and 1, right? So in the first iteration, what happens is we go inside it. So this is T1, this is T2, right? So now what do we do over here? What are we doing is that we are substituting this. So T2 we are making it as T1, and then the result we are assigning it to T2. Okay, so essentially what we are doing is, let's see. Right, so suppose we have a list, right? So the first is T1, this is T2, right? Next, what we will be doing is we will be taking this T2, this T2, and then assigning it as T1, and what will be T2? T2 will be the result because we will be adding this thing, right? So it will be 2, 2, okay? And then in the next one, what will happen? It will be 2 comma 3. That's how we are looping, as we can see right over here. Okay, what happened? Your output is this, is this. Why is this not being added? Okay, assign the sum of this to result. That's it. We have done it. So it's 2, right? It's 2, and then T2 is what? T2 is still 1 in this situation. So T1 will be 1, and assign, no, I made a mistake, right? I should have assigned the result now. That's why. Okay, should work just fine, right? That's just a silly mistake. Fibonacci number less than n. Last term is less than n. As long as T1 is less than n, right? We do print T1. Okay, assign the sum of so we calculate the result T1 plus T2, right? We simply assign T2 to T1, I mean T1 to T2, right? And we assign T2 equals to result, right? We are doing something similar. What happens is n will be there, right? So unless n is smaller than that, we are basically changing T1, because what happens, where are we changing T1? From here. Okay, so if n were to be 3, right? So if n were to be 3, it would come in over here, it would print 1, right? So that's the first one, and then the result will be 2, right? So 2, result will be 2, and then over here what happens? So it will be still 1, right? And then result will be 3, right? So T2 we T2, I mean result will be 2, because we are adding 1 plus 1, it will be 2, right? And in the next iteration, what will be our T1? It will still be 1, right? Next thing, what will happen? It will be 1 plus 2, right? It will be 3, and we are making it as a what will be T2 now? T2 will be 2, right? So what about this one? It will be 3, right? So we are in 2 and 3. Okay, so it will go again, right? So 0 1 2 3, right? So it will go again, right? So the it will loop over, and it will check for similar condition. Okay, what happened? Should work just fine. Okay. Okay, that's done. Right, moving into functions now. So we need to define a function named check with arguments. Check the marks. So we can call the function over here. All right. Okay. And we will need to define the print inside the function, I guess. Yeah, it has to be print. Okay, we can simply do it like this. Right, print what? Pass. Pass, I guess, if marks is greater than 40, greater or equals to, else fail, I guess, should work. What happened? Colon. I had to pass marks over here in the argument. Okay, should work just fine. Let's move on to the next question. If two arguments are equal or not. Right. So we need to define a function called my function, okay, which takes in two args. Arg1, arg2. Next is what we need to check. Arg1 equals to arg2. Return true, otherwise false. We need to call the function as well. So my underscore function. Let's just paste it. What about arg1 and arg2? So we provide number 1 and number 2. All right. So this should work. Basically, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? False, false, false. Why is that? Our output. Okay. So since we are returning it, right? So we need to print it as well because we are doing it in IDLE. Just the print function. Print should do the job. Okay. So basically what happens is it takes in two different inputs and we call our function over here and we pass in two different arguments. So number 1 and number 2, and then inside the function it basically compares the two. All right, you don't even need to write this actually, in my opinion. You can simply do return arg1 equals arg2, right? That should work just fine. Okay, because that would give out true or false anyway, right? Okay, define print numbers function, call the print function print numbers 2 times. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, we call the function. Let's define it. What should this function do? Okay, so we need to just do print 5 and then print 100. Right, next thing that it's asking us to do is just call the function twice, isn't it? That's it, not a big deal. What about this? We need to define first name and last name, full name. Okay, we might need to just concatenate. I think that's the example over here. Full underscore name. Right, so print the first and last name. Okay, great. Print. Let's do something unique. So let's pass this as a parameter. Let's define the parameter, and this thing last name should be another parameter, and let's use f string. F string, first name, first underscore name, and this will be last name. Input, right, first last name, first name, comma. So at the very end, we're taking the input from the user. Right, another input as well. We need two different names. And then lastly, we simply call the function full name, and then it should be first name, comma, the last name. Right, this should basically work just fine, unless I made a typo. Okay, what is it? First plus name, okay. Should be underscore. Great, works just fine, right? Okay, what is this? Define a function, name check prime, define check prime, right? Okay, and then for I in range, I in range that runs from 2 to what? Not including the number. Okay, great. We need to take the number. And I guess should provide a number n. Right. So we need to do print. So it's just the same example as before, right? Just the same dang thing. Not any surprises, right? Okay, not a prime. Yeah, flag, else it's a prime number. Else it's a, let's just get rid of this thing. It's a prime number. And then what about this? So if n modulo I equals what? Equals 0, then we simply set the flag equals 1, right? Otherwise we don't. Yeah, that's it. What happened? Perhaps we forgot a comma. Okay, maybe a typo. What happened? Your output, blah blah blah. Why am I not calling the function? Check prime. N will be number, right? In function, you can always pass one thing to the argument, one variable name. Inside the function, you can use another variable all across, right? Works just fine. Okay, let's do this three things. First of all, function that calculates power. What do we do? Create a function that is called what? Calculate power. Okay, power fix n, I guess. R1. Okay. return arg1 raised to the power 3. Great, I have done it. Let's submit it. What about this one? Define, what is this? Display info, right? That's the name of the function. We simply, of course, we will need to pass the name, comma location to it, and with argument that, okay, display info with the argument what? Magnus country. Maybe it's Magnus Carlson or whatever. Okay, works just fine. Sum of natural numbers. We define the function find underscore sum, right? In that thing, what do we do? For it takes n as an argument. Okay, we simply call and print find underscore sum of number, and inside this, what do we need to do? 1 to n. Okay, not a big deal, not a big deal. Not a big deal, right? So for I n, so this is to control Z, F equals to, or S equals to, sum equals to 0, right? For I in n, or range from n to n plus 1, of course. And inside this, what we can do is plus equals to I, right? That's all that's required over here. And then we need to return S. Should work just fine. Okay, what is this? Area of a circle. Okay, compute area. What is this? Define compute area takes what area? Computes area. Okay, should be radius. In my opinion, it should return 3.14 into radius into too many thing, right? Can't be bothered. Radius r equals to float input, right? Assign value 3.14 to pi. Okay, pi equals to 3.14. Okay, compute area. Great. Don't need this. Print. Okay, pi comma r, pi comma r, pi. That should work just fine. Yep. Okay, this thing is done. Right? Basic Python basics is done. What about collections? Modules. Collection is a lot. Let's cover modules first. What is it? Math module? Okay. So import math. Take integer input for a number. Okay. n equals to int input. Okay, print it. Okay, sq method sqrt function, and then we just pass in the n, right? Check, should work just fine because math has that thing inside it. Import math, use sqrt. Okay, great, not a big deal. Sqrt, find the square root of the number. Sq equals to math.sqrt, and then we simply pass in the number that gives us the value, and assign it to square root variable, and then use this operator with 1 to get the remainder of the calculated square root. Assign it to check remainder. Okay. Okay. We simply need to do print. So I will come back over here. So maybe remainder equals to, right? So let's just do it. Sq modulo 1. Right. So print what perfect square if not rem. Right, it's perfect for this particular scenario. This not rem, else this, right? Let's check it. Great, works just fine. Why did I say it's perfect? Because we want to check for zero condition only, right? So anything, if it is 1 or -1 or whatever, it's always not a perfect square, right? Has its use cases. What about the next problem? Find standard deviation. Okay, not a big deal. Dataset, blah blah blah. Import statistics module. Statistics module. Create a dataset variable. Okay, so list data. Data equals to like this. Just copy this thing. Copy paste. Right. So your standard deviation. Da, 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 da. Okay. Print. Right. So status this text dot stdv. I think it'll take a list data. That should be fine. Let's see. All right, I don't need to know the internal thing of it, right? So when you import it, need to know the function. Everything else, I don't need to worry about it. Math power. Okay, let's use the math power. Dot power number. That's it. What is it? Text to raise to 4. Of course, we will need to give out our argument. So we have to raise it to 4. All right. Okay, it's working just fine. Okay, I will get the certificate, but that's after I complete this thing. So how many are there? It should not take too much time for me, in my opinion. Collections, right? So create a list with odd numbers 1, 3, 5. Okay. LST equals to 1, 3, 5. Integer append. Okay. LST dot append number. Just print LST. Great, check code. What happened? Append. I'm missing a D over there. Great. Let's move on. Each element I print product. Submit it. What about this one? take string input for check. I mean, just a string input and use check the puzzles are equal or not. Okay, so we can simply do print. But should we return true or false? Equal and not equal. Okay, so equal if check 0 equals check -1, else not equal. That's it, right? Great. Create a list of fruits. Okay, fruits fruits equals to a list. Great, let's just paste it over there. Okay, print the items of fruit list. What the hell? Use a for loop. Type hinting would be so much better. Is there a setting? Nah. Print I. Okay, great. Print odd items from a list. Okay, list is that. Print is this or not? LS equals to our list will be something like this, right? And then from there, this has to be 1. So for I in LST, right? So we loop over it and then we simply print out the odd numbers. So that means what can we do? So if I modulo 2 equals 0, so if there is any reminder or if there is no reminder, right? So if it is not equals to 1, that means it's an odd number, right? So it's not perfectly divisible by 2. So that means we simply print it in this situation. Okay, that's it. Okay, reverse list. Print the list in reverse order. Print my underscore list, right? Let's just do that. It should work just fine. To reverse a list, we can simply use -1. Need to create a list. Okay, using slicing notation. Okay. Okay, I don't need to even create the new list, man. It just needs a return thing, right? So something like 1 dot. That's it. That's what it wants. Oh, where is LST? RMI to the second last, okay, until -1. Right, that will not be inclusive when we add -1 to it. Okay, string. Take character input for character 1. Okay. For I in S, check if that character is in that or not. Not a big deal. Okay, we just need to count the thing, huh? Could do it very easily, man. Maybe let's just comment it. We do that. We do print s.count C. That's it. Works, right? replace a substring. Okay, so we need to use the new. Okay, so we have that. Okay, we simply replace language quiz dot replace what yt with what, with ch, whatever character they give us, right? Great. To input. Okay, input. Okay, concatenate to store in a result variable s3 equals to s1 plus s3. Don't even need that, man. Print. Ah, ah, ah. End equals to this. Have to join it. Have to join it. Yeah, let's just do plus over here instead of that. It's a string, right? So it does not matter. Yeah, it works just fine. Okay, so we need to check what dates in the given format. Okay, we need to use plus. Day plus str. Let's just use f string, man. Why am I even doing this? F string, right? F string, let's just do day slash right month, and then should slash 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 year. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? Of course, I need to give a square bracket, close the f string, check code, should work. What happened? It's the other way around. It's the American format. Okay, that's done. To input concatenate, convert to lower and compare them. What do we need to do? A comma b equals to input comma input, right? And equal if a equals b, else what not equal. Check what happened. It's equal. Okay, I need to do lower now. Dot lower, right? We need to check for lowercase. Okay, great, works just fine. Merge two dictionaries using update. Update b, print a. Should work. Okay, great. Works just fine. Create an empty dictionary named mydict. Okay. Maybe d equals to empty dictionary. For loop for I in range what 1 to 3, including 3. Okay, so 4. Basically inside the loop, take input for key value and input for iterate from this to this. Okay, take input for key value. Okay, so k comma v equals to input comma input, store them. Okay, so d plus equals to, or I don't even need to do that, k equals to v, right? Print d, and we can simply assign it directly. How many more are there? Loop through a dictionary. Okay, not a big problem. Print only respective keys. Okay, great. Not a big deal. Print I. It will simply give out the keys only. Ah, you want values only. Okay. Okay, we need to take date as an input. Okay, we need to create a flag. F equals to what, false. Okay, look through my dictionary. Okay, or I in my dictionary. Okay, check if the value entered by the user is in dictionary or not. Okay, where did you take the input? Okay, so why are we even doing this? If yes, do that and then exit. Okay, if I equals print value found, not found based on flag. Okay, print found, I guess. Let's just copy this. Saves a little bit of time, right? Don't need this, right? So if what, if f, just this thing is missing. That's it, right? That's the condition. And then if I equals what, d, right? Take user input for data. And then what do? We simply set f equals to true. Check. Think it should work. What happened? Value found. Con. Input was con. Okay, value. Okay, so that means we simply do my dictionary and then I. Okay, should work. Okay, list method to convert string to list. Okay, lst equals to strl, print the list. Why would you even need that? Just do it directly over here, right? Expected output like that. Your output is this. Why did I do that? Why would I do that? list, that's it, right? We don't need this. We can directly convert it into list. Submit. Okay, finally everything is done. Everything is done, right? Next chapter, modules. I've already done that. What about this? Check code. Okay, let's move on. Okay, course has been completed. Certificate has been earned. Right. Okay, so that is done. Python basics practice. Right. So what's remaining now then? Python certification. Okay, so 3 is done. We need to do 4, course 4, 5, and then of course some problem, I guess, interview questions, and that's it. Okay, so in the next session, we might complete this thing, intermediate. Okay, right. So it's more about what? OOP and exception handling and managing files and stuff. Right, it should not be that bad in my opinion. It's pretty easy. I'm pretty sure we can finish this and move on to other problem as well. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye bye.